Hello, my love, and welcome to another episode of the Faith-Based Storyteller Show, where we sharpen and encourage one another in Christ by sharing the testimony God's placed in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me for another week and another Testimony Tuesday, where today we're going to dive into an amazing testimony from a woman who is changing the world. Okay, she's literally changing her world and the world of Haiti. And so today is Giving Tuesday. If you're not familiar, it is a global giving campaign where you can give to nonprofit organizations or charities or fundraisers or any type of campaign that is fueling change in the world. And so today I'm partnering with Brittany Hilker of Partner Haiti. She's an amazing woman of God that I met at a conference, and I cannot wait for you to hear not just her testimony, but how she came to find this nonprofit organization. So without further ado, here is Brittany Hilker. Welcome to the show, Brittany.
Thank you.
Now, I am super excited to have you here. We had the honor and privilege of meeting at Weekend at the Pitch Club, and I was really taken back by not just the nonprofit, but your story. I remember that there were some activities that were going on at the event, and I just happened to bump into you outside, and you were like, "Hey, are you a Christian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a Christian." I'm like, "Oh, well, the Christian girls are over here," and we ended up fellowshipping, connecting. And so, again, I'm so excited to have you here. But before we dive in, can you tell the people who you are and what you do?
My name is Brittany Hilker, and I work in Haiti. I moved to Haiti in 2008 and lived there for 13 years, and just recently moved back with my family. I have three Haitian girls, so we're moving back to Washington State now. And now I run a nonprofit called Partner Haiti, where we partner with local Haitian medical professionals and bring change to their communities.
I love it. Now, you're here on the Faith-Based Storyteller Show, and you have an interesting story on how you landed in Haiti and how you ended up staying longer than planned. Can you walk us through your story? Walk us through how you came to be the partner and founder of your nonprofit organization.
Well, to sum it up, I guess I was in college and I had always desired to go somewhere or serve in some way, but I wasn't really sure how or what. And my cousin called me up and said, "Oh, in 2 weeks I'm going to Haiti," because she was adopting kids from Haiti. And so I didn't have a passport. I didn't honestly know where Haiti was, like, had no idea. Probably thought it was in Africa. And so I quickly got a passport and jumped on the plane and went to Haiti, and it was a 4-day trip, and I was never the same. I
Mm.
Just being there, it's just like I knew it was for me. That's all I can explain it as. I just literally just felt called there. And so I tried to go home and pack up my bags and leave right away, but luckily my parents threatened me, like I had to finish college first. So I had one more year of college, and I spent a few months in Haiti that year. 5 days after I graduated, got a one-way ticket and moved down to Haiti with a ministry called Danita's Children.
Okay.
And I spent most of my time in Haiti, a lot of my time in Haiti at Danita's Children. They've become family to me. And they have a children's home and a pediatric hospital and um, a church and a school. And so I went there to serve, and I went there for a year. That's what I thought is. And during that year, I think the first day I hit the ground, I knew it would be longer. But during that year, 6 months later was when that devastating earthquake of 2010,
Mm-hmm.
Haiti, and almost 300,000 people died. And so I was there for that. And then Danita and I went on like the rescue team to go down to Port-au-Prince, and we were just taking in like busloads of people, families and mothers and children, and some once they took in a whole orphanage and bused them back to safety. And while I was there, I met a little girl, and she was 20 months old. She had a really traumatic story from birth, but the earthquake, they thought it took her life. They pulled her out of the rubble to actually throw her, in with the other
Mm-hmm.
bodies, and she started to cry. And so that I was 24 and I became a mom that day. So that was my first baby. And I just knew she was mine, that I would adopt her. And she's 15 today. She's just got her permit and lives in Washington with me now. But Um,
I love it.
yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I did a little social media snooping. It was just made official, your adoption with your kids.
Yeah. 14 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think it's so beautiful how it was, you said, a cousin of yours
Mhm.
who was the first push to go to Haiti because she was looking to adopt kids. And although you had no intention on becoming a mother or adopting children from Haiti, it was literally just that one encounter with someone who was going to do something where the Lord kind of put you on track for that. I'm curious, what were you doing before that trip to Haiti? What was the mindset or the goals of Brittany at that moment?
I was in grad school for social work, and my dream was I was living in Spokane, Washington, and we have a pretty big homeless population. And my dream was to start a home or some kind of program for people on the streets. So always my desire was to serve, and it still is. It's just in whatever capacity that is. I never imagined that it would be in Haiti, and it's just kind of how it's crazy the ripple effect, of one small decision. Someone just asking me, "Do you want to go on a trip?" And it changed my whole life, my daughter's whole lives. So it's really cool.
That's amazing. Just one small decision. So I'm curious, seeing that you're here on the Faith-Based Storyteller show, how has your faith kind of led you into those small decisions? Because I feel like this may not be the first time that that's happened to you.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I was raised as a Christian and I've had strong faith since I was a little girl, but it's also been kind of a long journey of still coming into that belief and making that, solid commitment and belief on my own.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm sure it's still a process, but I I do have some moments in my life where, maybe there's a few of them where they're really big life changing decisions. And of course, I prayed about them just like anyone would. But for some reason, I knew that I knew that I knew that I'm supposed to do something.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how God's led me in my life, I guess.
Mhm.
And it's not in any way because I'm like so avid at seeking him or doing this and that. It's like literally this blessing that he's done for me that in some big moments of my life I've just known.
Yeah.
Not like I hear him, not like that. I just know that I know, and no one could convince me otherwise. And they have been in those big moments, like moving to Haiti
Yeah.
and like adopting both my girls. I knew, I didn't have to think about it. And it's just I just knew.
Now I'm
So
curious, the
mhm.
knowing, because some people be like, well, how do you know? Like, they're just like, oh, how do you know when you found the one? You're like, you just know. Or like, how do you know when you found your kid? You just know. It's the knowing that can be so mysterious, so unable to explain. How have you navigated just the knowing? And how, like, I don't even know how I want to like surface this question, but like I understand the knowing because I've also had the knowing where there are just some places where you're like, I know I'm supposed to be in the room. That's it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know how it's going to happen. For me, that was South Africa. For you, it was Haiti. And when I was in college, I went to a presentation my sophomore year. Professor was doing a presentation about a children's orphanage called Vumunzuku Bayabana and how every other year she takes a group of students to help build another school there, to help with medication distribution for these kids who are infected with HIV and AIDS. And when I sat there my freshman year of college, and I was like, I'm going to be on that next trip. And for a year, I told my family, hey guys, don't make any plans. I'll be in South Africa next year. And they laughed. And literally, I was so serious. I'm like, don't make any plans for me. I won't be here next summer. And then when it came time for the trip to come, I sent in my application and everything. I got it approved, but it was a good $10,000 to $15,000. And for a student, I did not have that money at the time. And I'm like, it's okay. I already told people I'm going to be in South Africa this summer. So my family knows, my friends know, they think I'm crazy. They're like, why would you go there? It's dangerous. But I already told them, like, I knew in that moment when I saw the eyes of these kids, I was like, I'm going to be on that next trip. And I just happened to, about 3 weeks before the trip came, I was called to the financial aid office. They told me that my financial aid was not approved because my parents didn't make enough, but they made too much. So I would have to receive a refund from what they had already paid, which was the equivalency of the $10,000 to $15,000 for that trip. My flight was booked. I went home. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to South Africa. I got my passport rushed, and my family literally thought I was crazy. They're like, wait, you're serious? I'm like, I've been telling you this for a year. Like, why are you just now acting surprised? Like, this is it. And that entire summer changed my entire life. Now, I've been trying to get back since, but you immediately went back. You just knew. So I'm curious how you navigated the knowing. Like when you knew, when your cousin said, I'm going here, how did you prepare to go? Like, how did you navigate the knowing? Or, when you said you heard your daughter cry, you didn't know it was going to be a 15-year process for adoption, but how did you navigate the knowing in those moments?
Well, I think it helps that I'm not really a person who thinks things through too much, which is not always the best thing. But I'm sort of like an intuition follower.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when my cousin first said, do you want to go? It was just like, yeah, I want to go. It wasn't like I knew then, I just, yeah, I want to go. I went. And I mean, so it was like, oddly enough, during that season that Lost was big, that show. And so we were watching it in college, and how people like were called to the island, and they just like they were drawn. So that's the only way I could explain it to my friends when I came back, because everyone was into Lost. I was like, just like they were called to the island, I'm just called to this island. I just know it. So I don't even know how, I guess, I navigated it. I just knew that's where I belonged, is all. It wasn't even like I knew I was obeying God, or like, it wasn't like I was saying, oh, God's telling me this. Sometimes I think I think maybe God speaks to different people different ways. And some people will say like, I heard him, or and that's never been my way. I would love that, but it's not. It's always just been this inner knowing where I just like know. And it doesn't always come as easy. I recently just had a really tough situation that I was going through, one of the toughest of my life, and I didn't know which way to go. I didn't feel that either was right or wrong, but there was a lot at stake. And it took months and months of me just saying like, God, I have to hear from you. Please tell me, please. And this one seemed to take longer. It wasn't like I just knew right away. And that part was really hard for me. It's like, why can't I hear him? Why can't I hear him? I just kept, and so finally one night I went literally on my knees and was like, I am not leaving. You have to tell me what to do. You have. And then there it is again, just knowing, knowing what to do, no matter what somebody else, their opinion might have been. And it was the right decision for me. And I guess, yeah, I feel blessed that that's how God has been with me. Not that I've ever not made a lot of mistakes or misread things, or even sometimes I've known something and it hasn't actually worked out that great. But I don't know that that's God's promise that everything works out amazing, perfectly every time anyways. I think a lot of times he does lead us through hard things.
But all things work together for your good.
Yeah. And so
even the hard things. I love it. So tell us more about Partner Haiti.
Partner Haiti, like I said, I worked for another ministry for a lot of years, Danita's Children, and it was there that they kind of let me go with this dream of helping malnourished kids. And we started malnutrition programs there, built it up to be really great. They have a big pediatric hospital now and the best malnutrition program in the country. And then when I moved here, well, my heart began to be for like a program we called Mountain Outreach. And that's where, finally at Danita's, we had built this, she had built this hospital, and kids were coming. And sometimes though they would come too late. And right at the time they got there, they would die. And so then I'd see these kids and I was like, we got to go to them. Where are they? Where are they coming from? We got to go to them. They're not coming soon enough. And so then we started, going out into these really remote areas of Haiti, where you take a 4-wheeler for like 4 hours and then walk an hour on foot.
Oh, wow.
and go out into these villages and, partner with some of these nurses or CNAs up there and start little malnutrition programs for them, and then have ways for them to come down for help. And and so when I moved back to the States, which was almost exactly 3 years ago, I started Partner Haiti, and I just so that I had an umbrella to work under, because I've been working with the same nurse since for the last 14 years. And his name is Joel. He's up in the mountains, like really southern mountainous town in Haiti that no one even knows exists, and it's so rural that people are honest. They're riding donkeys and horses for travel and on foot, and
Oh,
there's no
wow.
cars. It's very, even Haitians living in a city don't even know that life still exists in Haiti sometimes. So we are working there, and I've been working with him for a long time. And so I started Partner Haiti just to continue to work with him, because I thought, well, if I'm here, I promised that I would never stop helping kids in Haiti, whether I'm there or here. And so we started Partner Haiti together, and called it Partner Haiti because really our vision was to partner with those already in Haiti, where it's not like being so dependent on foreign help. I mean, it would be financially dependent on some foreign help, but it doesn't need a mission trip. It doesn't need me to go and do this and that. It is completely Haitian run, as I believe we should be. That was just my vision for that. And it came at a good time because shortly after, the country is just, the president was assassinated, and it's been very hard to get down to Haiti. Most missionaries have left. And so for them to be, fully sufficient running, they run their own programs. I, of course, help them. We do it all through WhatsApp. And I now have taken a different role of being the advocate and the fundraiser and the support of the actual community leaders who have hearts for their own people. Who it doesn't cost me, $5,000 to get on a plane and go help. It's like, he's just employed. And by employing a nurse or 5 nurses like we get to do, they're also supporting their families, and they get to send their kids to school. And they're the ones who know their community. They know. I mean, I'll always be a foreigner, even as much as I love them and they love me, and I've learned their culture and language and all that. I'll always be a foreigner. So for somebody from that community to be now the leader of that community, helping those children and those families suffering, it's really cool.
It's literally allowing people in the community of Haiti to partner with each other, but then also receiving that external partnership from foreign resources, foreign organizations, things like that.
Right.
That's amazing. How often do you get a chance to go down and visit?
Oh, well, the goal would be a couple times a year now. I mean, I never actually planned to move back to the States. I came here 3 years ago. Yeah, I came here. I was giving birth, and I needed a C-section, and things were kind of wild in the country. And so I came here for medical care, and that's when, Haiti kind of took a turn. That's where there still hasn't been a president, and it's been more controlled by gangs. And this area that I work in is pretty impossible to get to right now. And so I actually haven't been back, but I'm trying for the spring. So I'm hoping there's a way to get there.
I love it. How can people send resources? How can they help? How can they get involved? Even with the current economy that's going on there, how can we partner with Haiti?
Well, we already have our programs up and running. We do everything local, so they're not relying on the medication to come from here, shipment and all that. They buy local. So really it's funds. And we have ways to partner with us on our website that you can see. There's ways we give families goats as a way of creating some means for a family to support themselves, because livestock is one of the biggest business opportunities there in rural Haiti. And so we give, we have a kind of a campaign on our website, $75 buys a goat. We send them directly to families. I see every goat that's purchased. I talk to and that's the beauty of being kind of small still. It's like every time a family receives a goat, I get a message from one of them saying, thank you, and I just, every time a child is treated for malnutrition, I hear from their mom, or I see videos. And so I get to still really be involved and know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have ways of just supporting different campaigns like that. One would be the goat purchasing, which is $75, something that most people can afford,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge blessing for a family. We also have a sponsorship program that I don't have on mine. It's more one, I have thought about doing things a little bit differently, and I'm not wanting to post the child's picture of that needs to be sponsored. And so I do have like some cards that you would get in the mail, but I'm just not putting them on social media. But we only have about 20 kids that need sponsored, just because we don't have a school or an orphanage, and these are kids more who would like deal with chronic malnutrition. So we're committed to kind of taking them through many years of malnutrition treatment and helping their family so that they don't relapse into malnutrition. And that, if you want to be involved in that, that's just reaching out to me, just sending us an email, and I can get somebody hooked up with sponsoring a kid.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to have all of the links down below. I know your website is partnerhaiti.org, and I'll make sure that I have your email below in case people want to reach out to you directly regarding sponsorship. I would like to buy a goat. So as soon as we get done, I will definitely make that purchase for you. And I'm so blessed by the fact that that one decision that you made, you are still walking in that decision. It wasn't like, oh, I went to Haiti and I realized I was going to be a mom, and then I came back to the States, which a lot of families, and there's no shade to that, a lot of families, they're like, oh, I want to adopt abroad. They adopt abroad, they bring them back, but there is no way of giving back to the very community or the very place that raised those kids or that brought those kids into the world. And so I absolutely love that you were like, okay, this is where I found my family, and this is how I'm going to help those families who brought me to my family. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, they've definitely given me more than Haiti has given me more than I've given them. I mean, it's a mutual relationship, and I hope to raise my daughters to, I don't even have to raise them like this. They've already been raised like this, but to love their country and to want to help. My daughter was working this summer because we live out kind of in farmland, and so you can work, after on the apple orchards and that at a certain age. And so she worked, in her first paycheck, she said, I want to send it to my friends in Haiti. And, my other little daughter, who's 9, she says she's going to run Partner Haiti one day. And so me and Joelle, who's the Haitian nurse, his daughter says the same thing. And so we dream of that, if that's the plan that God has for them. But I hope that I can instill that in them, just a love and respect for their country, which I know gets a lot of bad rap on the news and media. But it's really, I can't even tell you, it's like the greatest place you would ever go to. And right now it is struggling a bit, the capital with political things and gangs. But those people, when I lived there, I could go anywhere I wanted by myself to any village, any city, and they would take me in, feed me, give me, anything I needed. And just, they're the most hospitable and most amazing people.
It's love. It's love. Love has no boundaries. Love has no language. Love is just, it's universal. And the fact that you can go across the country or across the world and still receive the same love from people who don't even know your name, like that's just the power of love. And I absolutely love that. What are your hopes and dreams for your future and the future of Partner Haiti? Where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
I would love to do this full time, just keep on doing it. I want to grow Partner Haiti, just to be able to reach more people. I have a lot of goals. Joelle and I both have a lot of goals for Partner Haiti. One would be that we would have an inpatient malnutrition center there in rural Haiti, because we do have oxygen and we do have nurses, and we are able to give that first line of care when a child comes. And if they're not if they're just malnourished, we can help them. But oftentimes if they have other complications, we got to get them on an ambulance. We got to call a helicopter to come to the village, send them somewhere else. And so they don't always make it. We have one en route right now, and I don't know if she's going to make it. She came last night from a village an hour away, and she was doing very, very poorly. And so we did get her on a helicopter, and she's on her way to a hospital. Again, not sure if she's going to be able to make that, but the dream would be that we have our own inpatient center, and that's kind of in the works. We're not we don't fully have those funds or anything set up yet, but that's our dream, and we're working towards it. And also to have a full-time doctor right there on site. So we have a small clinic, and it's run by nurses, and we have a doctor that visits once a month, because this area, 100,000 people, there's no doctor.
Wow.
Yeah, only the nurses that we have. And so the dream would be, even this year, is to start to hire by the end of the year. My dream would be to hire a doctor full-time up there and start the inpatient malnutrition center.
I love it. If you don't mind me asking, the child who's en route now, what is her name? I would like to pray for
her. Let me look at my message from him.
Absolutely.
Sandra.
Okay. And in regards to Partner Haiti and people getting involved, I see the future, or I don't see the future, but like I would love to see your next generations and Joel's next generations take over, like how, your daughter and his daughter are like, hey, we want to run this one day. I know you said if it's God's will, it will happen. But what are your intentions or your goals for your kids? You were blessed with these children from this place. And so I know as a mother, you have so many wild dreams for them of what could be. But what do you see for your babes?
Honestly, I see pretty simply as like they've all been through really hard things, really traumatic pasts. And my number one thing I care about is them knowing God, growing through this and really getting to know Jesus. And then just fully healing and living a life where they can receive that full healing from God. So I keep it pretty simple. Obviously I have lots of, I see so much great in them. I think this one can be this, and this one can run this. And that's, I think all that will naturally come. But honestly, just like anyone else, you want your kids to be whole and healed and happy, and just to live out the calling that I know that they have really big callings on their life, whatever that's going to look like. These are girls who by all means should have died and didn't. And I don't get into all the details of their stories, but it's true miracles that they're even alive. And so I just think, and they know that I think this too. And so they would say this about their own life, but they were spared for a reason, and God has some kind of really big plan for them.
Amen. Brittany, I have loved this conversation. Is there anything else that people should know about you, about Partner with Haiti, or anything on your mind that you want to share?
Nothing that I can think of, unless you had any other questions. But yeah, I've just loved getting to talk to you too, and that we kept it focused on faith, and just the reminder that all of this does go back to faith and goes back to God. I was just thinking earlier about, and I was listening to a sermon on it, just like people's wrestling with the problem of evil, and how evil in this world, and how can that exist when God exists. And I was just thinking, the way I get through those kind of questions and those kind of intellectual approaches to the question of suffering, and is just that once we see it, since I've seen it, since I have a desire to help, it's like, to me, that is God's way of helping suffering, or getting involved in human suffering, is by putting that on our hearts and then us to respond.
Absolutely. I know in 2022, is that last year? Yeah, that was last year. It might have been 2021. I know the Lord sense of revelation that he said he will help us. And when we look at the book of Daniel, and we look at the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, there was suffering when they were sentenced into the fiery furnace for their death. But while they were in that suffering, or what should have been suffering, there was the fourth man, and God was with them. And when you actually translate the names of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, it's not their real names. They have Hebrew names. So they were given a new name. And their Hebrew names, Daniel's name means God is my judge. Shadrach's name means the Lord shows grace. Meshach's name means if you are like God, or who is like God. And then Abednego's name means I will help you. And so even just in the Bible, in stories, when there is struggle, the Lord is always confirming that he is going to help.
Yeah.
He's always confirming that he's going to help. And so I loved how he helped you. He helped you through getting your social work degree. He helped you when he led you to Haiti. He helped you get back to Haiti after leaving and having to go back home. He helped you with your children and bringing your family together. He's helping you with Partner Haiti. He's helping you grow this nonprofit, this organization. He's helping these families by sending these resources. It's just, the Lord is going to help. And I believe he always has, he always will. And he promises that he will help us. And so I'm just grateful for the fact that you are obedient in your call to help others. And that even through seeing some of the things that are devastating and very heavy, you're still leaning on the Lord for help. So thank you for your obedience. Now, Brittany, before I let you go, here on the show, we love telling stories, and we've heard your story, but there is actually a method that we walk through called the story method to help other people tell their stories. And it's literally STORY, story. And each one indicates something regarding your story. And so I'm going to do a rapid story round with you, where I'm just going to ask you the very first thing that comes to mind, and you can just share it. Are you ready? Okay, so number one, what is your greatest strength?
Passion.
I love it. What is a technique or something that you can teach someone how to do?
Anything
Anything.
in the world? Or treat malnutrition.
Amen. What is an obstacle?
Many people.
One more time. What was that? You cut off just a little bit.
I have taught many people how to treat malnutrition after somebody taught me.
Amen. I love that. Question 3. What is an obstacle that you've overcome?
Ooh. I have so many. I'm like, which one do I say? I think even though I was raised in the faith, an obstacle would be that I've had to come to my own belief, especially on an intellectual level of who Jesus is, and that's taken me a long time, but I have overcome it because I kept seeking him through it, and I have come to a deeper faith now than I've ever had.
Amen. I love that. Question 4, when it comes to your relationships, any relationships, family, friends, who do you do it for? Who's your motivation?
My kids.
I love it. And last but not least, what is your why? Why do you get up every morning and do the amazing work that you do, Brittany?
I have to. It's just in me. It's that knowing, once again. I just feel like I was created for it, and that this is who I am.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Thank you for following that knowing. Again, thank you for your obedience, and thank you for everything that you're doing with Partner Haiti. I'm blessed by the work. I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to meet at that conference. And I encourage everyone listening, please make sure you get involved one way or another. All of the links are going to be down below, and you can reach out to Brittany directly in regards to sponsorship opportunities, but make sure you get involved. Like, this is an amazing organization. You know where your funds are going. It's not just a charity write-off at the end of the year. Like, this is something that we can help if we have the means to help, or even if we're just praying. for Sandra, or praying for Joel, and praying for the people in those villages, praying for the children who are malnutritioned. Any way that we can help, we should get involved. So Brittany, again, thank you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Alrighty, loves. I love Brittany. I'm so glad that we were able to run into each other at that conference. I'm so glad that the Lord connected us. And it's such a blessing what she's doing with Partner Haiti. Like, there are so many organizations out here who are doing amazing work around this country, but to actually know where your money is going, and to actually know that your money is going to help malnutrition children, malnutrition families, mothers who need pregnancy care, people in villages who need doctors, like, they're doing such amazing work. And Brittany is just such a light. She's such a joy. And so if you want to connect with her, all of her details are going to be down below. Please, if you can support someone today for Giving Tuesday, please consider Partner Haiti or some other organization. The Lord calls us to be cheerful givers. And so it's important that we go out and find someone that we can give to. But without further ado, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Thank you for tuning in every single week. Thank you for being a faith-based storyteller, for hearing the testimonies of people who are overcoming the enemy, for sharing your testimony. If you want to be a guest, please reach out. I would love to hear your story here on the show. But as always just remember that God loves you, and so do I. And I will catch you, my love, in the next episode. Bye.